Welcome to Start Your Dungeons. I'm Bryce.
I'm Adam.
And now we're into our second part where we look at our AOS 3.0 starter sets. And last episode, which you can check out, was on the Warrior set. This time we're talking about the Extremis edition, which is the biggest starter set you can buy for the Age of Sigmar 3.0 edition.
Before we get started, there is one in the middle. It's called Harbinger.
Yes.
But I didn't buy it because it's the same models from this set, just without the terrain pieces.
Right. Which is kind of interesting. They don't do that with 40k so much. It was a weird choice for this one. I don't know why, other than the terrain. And I mean, the terrain is nice in here, but yeah, definitely a different choice. But as you can see, a whole lot more than what you get, obviously, in the Warrior box. So let's talk about it, Adam. What all do we get in this box set?
So we get several units. We get another unit of Vindictor, Stormcast Eternals. You get the Praetors.
Beautiful. I think if you talk about the newest range of like AOS, like Stormcast, the like thinner, kind of slimmer look to them, man, they are beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous ones.
Yeah. You get the Lord Imperatant with a Griffhound.
Right.
You get your Gut Rippa, like 10 Gut Rippas. You get the Swamp Kala Shaman. I love that model.
Absolutely great. With a pot grot.
With a pot grot.
Love the pot grot.
And then you get these Hobgrot Slittas, which are ranged. And, you get
a little bit of chaff kind of unit.
Yeah. Just, throwing meat for the grinder. Once again, you get your little range rulers.
10 dice.
You get 10 dice. You get another core rulebook. It's the same core rulebook that you get in the Warrior set. Mm-hmm. You get your War Scroll cards for all of your units. You get the same rules reference sheets. You get the Extremis book, which is... It's almost exactly the same as the Warrior book. You get the same, all your story, the lore things, a little bit about the background of the game, the same kind of tutorial sequence as we got in the Warrior edition. But the real thing that just stops everybody is that terrain.
5 pieces of it. I mean, you've got these 2 big walls,
And the game, instead of it being like a paper game mat, this is cardboard.
Oh, and double-sided. Which
yeah,
is really
double-sided
nice.
Cardboard. The beautiful terrain wasn't easy to paint, but oh my gosh, it's so good looking.
Oh yeah, no, it's actually some of my favorite terrain. I think these buildings are really nice. They actually fit really good. They do have the AOS. They are AOSified. But I think if you trimmed off some of that, these would be really, really good with like the Middle Earth game style terrain, like ruins. It's just some really cool, like very heavy Sigmar terrain. Gotta love our boy Sigmar, but it's definitely, I think, some of the nicer like little bits of terrain they've had for some of their sets.
Yeah,
really good. So let's talk about the minis again. Are all of these push fit?
Yes, they're all push fit. They were really easy to put together. Same kind of thing with the Gut Rippas, very stabby. They hurt my fingers more than anything else. But honestly, they were pretty easy to put together.
Right.
I didn't have any problems assembling anything. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to trim a whole lot. There's, like your pretty standard stuff of just, picking off the little bits of sprue, but...
Yeah,
pretty great.
They're pretty great, and again, gorgeous looking models. I think the Cruel Boys again look good. I actually like the Slittas. I think they're kind of a cool little you don't see a lot of armored smaller mix the hobgoblin-y kind of people that mix between a goblin or like that in between. You don't get that a lot in a lot of games, so I really like that. And then I could keep talking about the Praetors. Beautiful. In terms of what you need to assemble, you have to assemble everything pretty much to play this, right?
Yeah. And this took significantly longer to put together just because you've just got a lot more models.
And terrain can be finicky at times to build.
Terrain can be finicky. So in order to put it together, you need your clippers, you need your hobby knife, a good set of files. I love my files. your very standard equipment. You don't need anything like you don't need any glue. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing I needed glue for, but
I'm
just like
amazed the terrain is push fit.
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, it
actually.
was. I mean, it's all push fit. Didn't have any problems getting it together. It still had that one gut ripper that I needed to fill a gap in, but other than that,
Yeah.
nothing.
Let's talk about, getting into this one. Obviously, we've went from a hero on each side in a unit to 2 units and a hero on each. How easy it is to get into this one, and you think in comparison to the warrior set.
Warrior set's a little easier to start.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend a couple of days putting all this together, and it is not gonna be like I build it and then that night we're playing. So with the warrior set, like I said before, you could build them in an afternoon and then be playing that night. This is a significantly longer time that you're going to be putting models together. If you're going to paint them, it's going to take you a lot longer to paint everything.
But they are nice to paint. I think that Swamp Kala is actually one of my favorite, just like shaman-esque little models.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, he looks evil.
oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, very good. I think, yeah, this is definitely a bigger jump up from, in the last set we really only had 6 models for the Stormcast and 12 for them. Looking at this is 22 for the Cruel Boys. You've got 10 of them for the Stormcast, but that's not even including the terrain.
Right.
It is almost double what you're getting in the other set, so
Yeah.
it is a little bit of investment. Again, is it easy to find information? As we said in the other one, it's the same core rulebook, so it is a lot in that rulebook. Again,
Yeah.
it's a bigger, longer, more drawn out kind of thing with multiple bullet points, which is great to kind of help you figure out where things are. Again, this game isn't very symbol based; it's very keyword based. A lot of what you're going to do is look at keywords for your guys or reading a lot of paragraphs. This box set has a lot more going on in it. Especially when it comes to the heroes, I think because it's a magic user,
Yeah.
is always kind of add more. There was a magic user in the other one, but magic is always something a little bit additional, kind of with what you're dealing with.
And in the tutorial missions in there, they have one that's specifically about the swamp Kala shaman.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other one, it had it was the other magic user. It was the one on the Stormcast side. But it teaches you magic in one tutorial, and this one was specifically for doing the like his special stuff.
Right. So talking about, again, we've got those same starter missions in there. So you have that, and you have really one mission you can play that's in there. And then the core book has a few different missions as well. But, how long are we spending on this one to play an average game? I mean, our other one, we said 30, 45. You're going to jump that up maybe an hour and a half?
Yeah, probably. I'd say like maybe an hour and a half because you got, a few more units. And you've got just with the terrain alone, you got more complexity to the game.
Right, and terrain is one of those things, especially when I played heavily in second edition, it was important, and in third edition, it's not as overdone. But terrain has so many different abilities. There's magic spells that can make it to where terrain does different bonuses. So there's a lot going on with terrain, and I think it really will shape your games. I think, terrain really changes a lot of playing a miniature game, and the fact this comes with it is really great.
Yeah.
Talk about, expanding off of this box, too. This is actually a decent size of models. Where do you go from here if you're looking to expand off of this set, you think?
I mean, honestly, if you're playing a small game like we were talking about before, if you're doing like a Path to Glory kind of thing, you don't need just a whole lot extra to play a small game. I'm going to keep saying a small game.
Your army is pretty much at 600 points for our Path to Glory. These two sets and plus the Bolt Skewer guy.
Right. Yeah. So what I did was we didn't change out our background, but I've got the Warrior set and the Extremis set. You put those two together, I got a unit of some ranged gut rippers, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a small game like that, you're almost ready with this set and the warrior set,
Right.
and you've got lots of dice. You've got enough of the
Boards to
boards. So
yeah, I think this set is definitely a better one to get started with if you're looking to. I think that your unit variety is really nice in this. You know, you're getting to where you can start to have like a better size game. Again, if you're looking to expand, this box set is great. I mean, you could double up on this box set if you wanted to, have some more terrain, maybe too much at that point, but bigger units, you know, of each size would be good, but or multiples of, but this is kind of a nice set for all that you get, and I think it's a better example of what AOS is kind of like.
yeah, a little more representative.
Yeah. Again, you're still not hitting a lot of high points on this. You know, maybe around 350, 400 on this set in terms of point values between the two, but you're getting closer. The variety is there with the multiple units, and I think that's important to understand because there's so many things that key off multiple units in a game in games. So really, this one is really built around teaching you more about like, oh, in the fight phase, who's going to fight first? Or my other unit might get hit before it's going to get the opportunity to slap back. Is that bad or worse? You know, a lot more variety in this set, and I think that's really great. It's something that you can do to kind of like make this game just have a little bit more, little more to it than the other one. This one for new and seasoned, I think is a lot different from the Warrior set.
Yeah, mainly because I mean this is a much bigger buy-in, and I think this one is a better set for seasoned players if they haven't started playing third edition yet.
That is a fair point. I actually didn't think of. I think this one is better for someone who maybe didn't go hard into second edition or first edition, wants to come back, and is also interested. Again, if you want to play these armies, this box set is a great deal. And the other thing that's really sometimes difficult is like the Swamp Caller is not available to buy on his own. You have to buy him in either this set or the big Dominion box.
Or the Harbinger.
Yes.
So it's just those three, two starters, and then the one that was the first
intro to third edition.
The intro to third edition.
And I think that if you're looking for those heroes, and again, the Swamp Caller is a really great hero for them. I mean, if you talk about value for this set, $185, and you're paying a lot, I think, for this terrain. It's about, $100 for the Harbinger set, which comes with pretty much the same stuff. You're basically paying $85 to have the terrain.
Yes.
And the nice board.
And you can, they actually sell the Extremis terrain set that has another board. It's got, I think, an extra one of these guys, but it's got, some of the terrain, and they sell that for $100 on its own.
Right.
So if you compare the Harbinger set plus the terrain set, you're saving $15, on that. So I mean, the Extremis set, I think, actually is a pretty good value for what it is.
I think the fact that there's real terrain in this is huge.
Yeah.
I think that's really the big thing for it. If you're a seasoned player who's looking to pick up some more units again and want some terrain as well, this is a really good buy.
Yeah.
If you just want the units in here, don't know if it's 100%. If you just want to pick up the Harbinger at that point, but this really is a good get started set if you want to play either of these, because like I said, you get terrain, which is not cheap. Terrain is not usually cheap from Games Workshop, unfortunately. You get a board, a solid board, and you need at least two of these to play the smaller size games, and then you're going to have two decent sized armies that you can, starting armies, to start with. And I think the value is so much better for this set to start out. But even as an experienced player, if you're looking to get back in with either of these factions or pick up some nice terrain, I think this one has more value for both new and seasoned.
Yeah.
And then we'll go again in terms of playing. Would you keep playing after playing this box?
I mean, you pretty much have to at $185.
I mean, either that or, you get
in for a penny. In for a penny, in for a pound.
You're paying, this isn't the $60 buy-in, so.
I mean, I think this, if you've got if you've put it together, you've painted your minis, and you've got a friend who's going to do it, I think it's a pretty good I think it's a pretty good entry point.
Yeah. I think this one's interesting as well because we're going to sidestep and talk about the Dominion box for a second, which is the bigger one that was originally $200. You can find that box for $100 sometimes,
Yeah.
$150. I think this box set is great if you can also get it for a decent amount. I think 185 may be a little bit high. Again, you're saving not a whole lot between them. But like to me, I think almost if you're a more seasoned player who wants to put some more effort in, you almost want a Dominion box,
Yeah.
maybe?
The thing about the Dominion box, keep in mind, it does not have terrain.
That's correct.
It
You're
has
getting more units and stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot more units. Instead of this smaller core rule book, you have the bigger one. I think it retails for $50 or $60.
Yeah.
But it's a very different set. You're not getting a board. You're not getting the terrain. You're not getting the little, rulers. What you're getting are lots of units.
And I think maybe this set is great if you're looking to fully start out. If you're looking to start both armies, though, that's another good buy-in because really, between those two, you'd have a lot of models.
You absolutely would.
And you would really have probably close to 1,000 points or more between them. And again, I only say that because this one does retail at $185, and the Dominion is retailed $200, $300 sometimes. But it's so cheap now. I just find it's not hard to find on a cheaper one because it is getting a little bit older.
And you can also find a lot of the unused sprues from the Dominion box on eBay and different websites. Whenever people
bought half the box, don't want the Cruel Boys, don't want the Stormcast.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can find the sprues, you've already got the War Scroll cards for these guys. So just throw them in.
Absolutely. But yeah, overall, I think this really is one of the better sets, actually. I think, if you're looking to start, get some terrain, get everything out of it, it's hard to argue against this one. When we first started about talking about these, I was like, I don't like GW starter sets, personally, in the past. I think they've gotten a lot better, and this is a prime example of them doing better, of making sure, one, there's full-sized units, which I don't understand why that was ever a thing. Where they would put not full-sized units in giant core boxes. Excuse my harshness on that. But I do think that you really, like I said, you get your value. I mean, you obviously, this was a great buy for you to get started.
Especially for someone who likes painting, assembling and painting minis. I love this set.
Yeah. And you have a variety, too, with it. You've got the Cruel Boys, again, they fit that middle ground between, with some armor, but not fully just naked orcs running through the wild. And then with the Stormcast, you've got more of a metallic side to them, the heavy armored style. So yeah, you got a lot of variety in this set. And I think overall, if you're looking to get into AOS, it's a great set to get started with.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we hope you really enjoyed it. Again, let us know if you see the value in this set, what you think of this set. Did you get started playing the game? Have you checked out this set? Are you gonna check out this set? Let us know down in the comments below what your thoughts are. And then once again, we thank you guys for your time. I'm Bryce.
I'm Adam.
Y'all take care.
Bye.